Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Lucas Tyndale Live. So glad to have all of you here today. As you guys join, I just want to welcome you into the room, welcome you into the broadcast. If you're watching this by replay, we're so excited to have you here. It's been so fun building this community and building this family over the last several weeks. You may be watching this by replay a day from now or a year from now, but we want you to feel welcome joining the Lucas Tyndale Live family. Please go follow us at Lucaslive Media on Facebook. Make sure you follow me on YouTube and Twitter, Periscope, and Instagram at Lucas Tyndale. And just make sure you're continuing to follow everything we're doing. We want to make sure that you guys have all the insight and all the information, and we want you guys to be a part of our inner circle. Also, to become a part of the inner circle, we want you guys to make sure you take a minute and text Lucas Live to 31996. So make sure you take a minute and text Lucas Live to 31996. I promise you, this inner circle is about to get going, okay? There's going to be some special giveaways. There's going to be some really cool things that is going to be especially for the inner circle. You don't want to be last. You don't want to be late. It's going to be well worth it, I promise. Make sure you take a minute and join our inner circle. So again, thank you guys who are joining the broadcast. We're glad to have you. Those of you who are here on Facebook, LinkedIn, Periscope, or YouTube, we are so glad to have you here today. We are going to have an important conversation today about marijuana, cannabis. What are the differences? Where did the restrictions come from in the first place? What's the deal? We want to hear from you as well. You may have some thoughts and opinions about this, about why this is a certain way and why some of the rules are in place, or why they should be or maybe should not be. We want to hear from you guys today. So we're really excited about that. We also want to make sure we take a moment to shout out our sponsor. We want to thank HMA for being such a great sponsor to us. So you guys make sure you take a minute and go to HMA Enroll to Save. I've been talking about it day after day. I am not joking. HMA Health Matching Account is like nothing you've seen before. It will be a supplement to your insurance, your current medical insurance policy. Or if you don't have an insurance policy, it will be something to give you some sense of security. Because on HMA, when you join HMA, you're going to pay a monthly amount that is going to be a contribution to a savings. And what's going to happen is over a period of months, that money is going to compound. Month 1, it grows by 10%. Month 2, 20%. Month 3, 30%. Month 4, 40% is going to be the matched amount. And then the matched amount at month 5 is 50%. And you're going to see that continue to grow over a period of months. And within 1 year, in less than a year, you're going to see more money in than what you put in. And after 2 months, you're going to see a lot more in. And after 35 months, you're going to see the amount that you put in doubled, that you can use on any medical cost, from prescription drugs to LASIK eye surgery to orthodontics to a knee replacement to getting your shoulder repaired like I need from high school to getting your elbow fixed like I probably need that too. But all of that is available through HMA. Make sure you check out HMA through the link hmaenrolltosave.com. Thank you guys so much for continuing to check that out. Inbox me if you have further questions. Some people have already been reaching out. There's some great companies that have joined HMA. Through a business partner of mine, and it's just really, really exciting, and it's a great opportunity for everyone. I want to say hello to some people who jumped in. Sarah Ray, JJ Lilly, thank you guys for being here. Please feel free to throw some comments up there. I know sometimes people think, I don't want to throw my comments up there. He might throw my comments on the screen. And you're right, I might. But isn't it worth it to be a part of the family? Sarah Ray, we really appreciate you being here. JJ Lilly, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you. Whatever platform you're on, please make comments. To my LinkedIn family, I got to look you up here on my phone. Let me take a second and pull up the LinkedIn family. It's so cool. There's a whole business community out there who are watching these broadcasts. I've had some of my guests who have gotten some business from my LinkedIn page. I've had people reach out to me and say, I want to meet that person, or I want to get to know that person, or I might want to do business with that person. Hey, Mark Allen, thank you for joining us on LinkedIn. And whoever else is on there watching, thank you guys for being there. And again, if you're watching it by replay, we are so happy to have you. Amber, thank you so much for being here. To all the eyes, to all the ears, to everyone who's here today, I can't thank you enough. And I promise you, I'm going to be giving back to our audience. You guys stay tuned to Lucas Tyndale Live. I have big plans for you. This show is not about me. It's about bringing you guys education, motivation, liberation. Okay, education, motivation, liberation. I want to teach you some things. I want my guests to teach you some things. I want to motivate you to make change. Yesterday we had Motivation Monday. We talked about habit stacking. We talked about changing the way you do things. Okay, we talked about changing the way you interact with your day-to-day life so that you can do things in a better way. If you create a habit stack, for instance, if you want to work out in the morning. Now I know the gyms are closed and that's terrible, right? But if you want to work out in the morning, one habit stack that will help you is before you go to bed, if you put your workout clothes next to your bed, you are far more likely to work out in the morning. So every night before you go to bed, you create this habit of I sit my workout clothes right next to the bed. When you wake up in the morning, you go and you brush all of your teeth, all of them, and your tongue. Get it fresh. Don't just you don't have to get a full freshen up shower before you get your little workout in at home. But please go ahead and brush all your teeth. Okay, but once all your teeth are clean and once your breath is not knocking people down, then you put on your little workout clothes and you get your little at-home workout in. And when the gym's open, you run to the gym and you get yourself a workout in. Okay, that is a habit stack. Okay, you change the way you did something to have greater success in the future. All right, so that's what we're talking about. Education, motivation. So when you're motivated and you change your habits, you have more success. And last, liberation. This show is about setting you free. Are you ready to be free to be you? Are you tired of people telling you how you're supposed to be? Are you tired of just nobody accepts you and nothing you do is right? It's time to be free to be you. That doesn't mean you don't grow. That doesn't mean you don't evolve. That doesn't mean you don't improve. That doesn't mean I don't want to be a better husband and a better father. I do, and I will, and I'll work on it. But I'm going to feel free to be me. And in the meantime, while I'm working on getting better, I need people to understand this is who I am. And I'm okay to be that. And I'm enjoying that journey, which makes today's topic so fun for me. People know me. And hey, to everybody else who's joining the room, Courtney, Renee, thank you so much for being here. My beautiful wife, Corinne Marie, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. Ebony Akron, always glad to have you guys. Thank you guys so much. For people who are new to the show, I can't thank you enough for becoming a part of our community. It matters. And I promise I'm going to be giving back. I'm going to be working with our sponsors and working with others to make sure you guys benefit from being a part of this show. So don't miss it. And we're having game night coming up on Saturday at 7 p.m. Don't miss game night. It's going to be so much fun. But tonight's show, we're going to talk about an interesting, often controversial topic. A lot of people know me from the community and working with kids and families and working in ministry at the church and serving people and doing good. So some people are probably like, he's about to talk about weed and marijuana and cannabis and CBD oils. What is going on with him? Guess what? I'm free. So yes, we're going to talk about it. And I have some of my own thoughts and opinions about it. And when we get on some of these topics, I'll share with you what I may or may not have done in the past. I will share with you. I'm also going to share with you my feelings towards others about this topic because I think there's a lot we need to know. We need to be educated about what the truth is behind this very important topic because I think there's a lot of stigma around these types of products. And we want to know the truth today. So I found an expert. I brought you guys an expert tonight to break it on down. So we're going to learn today. All right. So somebody say we're going to learn today in the comments. We're going to learn today. Stephanie, welcome to the show. Steve Beatty, my man, welcome to the show. So excited. Thank you, everybody who's joining. And don't miss tomorrow's show. I got Shamika Dean. She's a profit strategist. She can teach you how to build your business as an entrepreneur, build your YouTube channel, build your brand, how to focus in on God as your leader, as your CEO. She's a profit strategist. She is just a brilliant woman. She is Dr. Shamika Dean, will be on tomorrow night. Angelina Renee, thank you so much. We're going to learn today. Courtney, ain't that right? We're going to learn today. Thank you for putting that in the comments, everybody. And on Thursday at 7 p.m., you're not going to want to miss Miss Danica Stevenson. She's been seen on many news shows, doing cooking demonstrations. She's going to be here live on Thursday, cooking up something delicious, showing us a recipe. It's going to be a live cooking demonstration on Thursday. You're not going to want to miss that. And again, Saturday, 7 p.m., our most watched shows have been our game nights. We laugh, we ask questions, we have debates, and we have a lot of fun. Our last game nights are still getting more views on YouTube than any other videos. People are loving virtual game night. You don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of it. And all you have to do is answer in the comments. And it's so much fun. Okay. So without further ado, I want to bring on our wonderful guest tonight. And she's going to tell us all about herself. She's going to tell us more about this industry, and she's going to take your questions. Welcome, Miss San Seviera, to the show. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful. So glad to have you here on the show.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Our guests are ready and excited. I got some questions ready for you, too. I got to ask you some stuff. I had to make a couple notes.
Let's do it.
I'm not always as prepared, but this is an important topic. You know what I mean? The people want to know what's going on.
Sure.
And ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are watching tonight, I just want to tell you, I got products here, okay? Before the show, she's serious about her stuff. She sent me some products. I got some little gummies right here. I don't know what's gonna happen. I hope my wife is ready if I end up high. I don't know what this is. This is like, am I supposed to smoke? What is
No,
that? I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not asking until you tell me. I got teas. I don't know what all this stuff is. Do I smoke the tea leaves? I don't know. But she's gonna break it down for us, and you gonna help me understand what to do, right, Sam?
absolutely. I got you covered.
All right, y'all pray for me. Everybody, let me know if you're praying for me in the comments, just in case. Y'all know I'm a lightweight. I ain't used to all that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really dabbled.
You
We're
know
gonna
I've got
find
you
out.
covered. I'm not going to do anything, crazy, too crazy.
Nothing too
But
crazy.
exactly, right? The
Yeah,
topic itself, okay?
if y'all see me over here like this, y'all gonna
No,
know I'm still live 3 hours later, just sitting here like this. Y'all gonna call my wife and get me some help.
you're
Okay, so
good.
we're gonna find out. The gummies scared me. I ain't gonna lie. The ingredients on the back say, "Don't worry about it." Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I'll find out later. So, San, I introduced you, and every time I see your name, we've connected on multiple social media platforms. I've seen you doing your thing. We've talked multiple times. I want to say your name right. Well, like I got the San, I got the Marshall. Help me say your name right and help explain to us your name has a meaning as well. Help us understand that.
Yeah, thanks for asking that question. This is my favorite question. I love it. My first name is Sanseviera. My last name is Marshall. That's kind of easy. But
Yep.
Sanseviera. My grandmother was really into botany, and she convinced my parents to name me after a tropical plant that grows well in adverse conditions. And I have to say, I am so honored to have this name. It has served me very, very well. Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
I love it. So tell us again, you said a plant that grows well in adverse situations. Is that right?
Absolutely. Like you can forget to
Wow.
water it, it's going to grow. You can put it in a closet, no sunlight, it's going to be okay. I mean, yeah, it's a great plant. I'm sure you've probably seen this plant. The common name for it is the snake plant or the mother-in-law's tongue. It's a tall green plant, comes to a point at the top. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a few years ago, the Botanical Society was like, people were like protesting because the common name is the mother-in-law's tongue, sharp point. So
It just wasn't right. That's not right. You don't say that about people's mothers. It's wrong.
yeah,
So,
but it's also called the snake plant. I'm sure you've seen it.
absolutely. So, San, we like to go deep a little bit with our people. Before we get too far into this conversation, I'd like for my audience to get to know you. So, grows well in adverse situations. Tell us a little bit about your background, your life. Who are you, San? They need to know.
Yeah, I am a native of Akron, Ohio. I've been back in the area for about 2.5 years, but I grew up here and I've lived all over the world. Literally, I've lived a year in China, in Morocco, and Northern Africa. I've lived in London, England. I've
Wow.
lived in Chicago, Cincinnati, Massachusetts. So yeah, I've experienced a lot of different cultures. I went to school in St.
Hmm.
Louis. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So since I brought up St. Louis,
Uh
my
huh.
undergrad degree is in finance from Washington University in St. Louis.
Uh
And
huh.
yeah, so the first part of my career, I've spent 25 years in corporate America. I like to call myself a corporate employee gone rogue now that I'm on this entrepreneurship journey.
Uh
And
huh.
so,
I feel you. I feel you.
exactly, right?
Yep.
Like minds, you know what I'm saying? So it's been great to be in this space and meeting a bunch of very innovative and creative individuals following their passions and their dreams. But before I got to this point, like I said, 25 years, I'm dating myself, I know that. 25 years in corporate America. The first half of my career was in corporate finance, in risk management, commercial credit lending, that sort of thing. The second half of my career has been in business development and strategy, strategic partnership management in
Wow.
terms of helping companies expand their footprint, whether it's from organic growth in terms of regular sales, customer acquisition, or whether it's inorganic growth. By that I mean acquiring a small product line or a small company that has a product that complements a product line that we currently have, or let's say they have a piece that we need to build something
Okay.
like that. So that's my background. Like I said, undergrad degree in finance, master's in business from Clark University in Worcester,
Woo.
Massachusetts. And that's me.
Hey, hey, go ahead. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Thank
Very,
you.
very great background in business. Have accomplished a lot, and now you're out here selling gummies. You're gonna tell us about this in just a second.
Yeah,
Break it down
I'm
for
gonna
us.
tell you about the gummies.
I got to get to our audience real quick and shout out some people. Again, a lot of you I've said hello to already. Steve, Courtney, Stephanie, Angelina, thank you so much for being here. We're so glad to have you. Some of you may be your first time. I can't tell you how grateful we are to have you here live in audience. We respect the fact that sometimes every day it doesn't work to watch us live, but our expectation is that you watch the replay in full at some time or you don't love us. I mean, no pressure. I'm just saying. But we appreciate all of you so much. Tyler Thatcher, my man. I appreciate it so much. Bobby Tucker, my friend. So glad to have you here today. I think this may be your first time with us live. Bobby Tucker, my man. Love you, man. So glad to have you here. He wants to know about owning a business. All right, Bobby, we're going to talk about it tonight. If you want to get down with the CBD, if anybody's out there interested, this is a huge industry. $22 trillion industry, I believe, is being projected.
Billion.
Billion?
Yes.
22 billion. See, I've heard trillion so much because the government just spends trillions that
Right,
it
right.
sounds like a couple dollars, right? So
Right.
we're going to talk about it tonight. We got a couple people from St. Louis in the house. They're excited. Our friends Amber
Woo,
and Nick,
woo. Watching
they
you in the house.
they are excited. My man Nick, beautiful husband and wife. They have a beautiful family. They live here in Canton, Ohio now, but they make their trips back to their hometown and they tell us all about it and they really, really love it there as well. Stephanie Talbert, thank you so much. She said, good topic. This is going to be a good topic. Okay, she said, interesting in owning too. People trying to get in on the business. All right, we're going to make some moves here tonight. That's what I'm talking about.
Making many
Once you,
moves.
if I don't pass out, that's how y'all going to know if you want to invest, right? If I take the stuff and I'm good, y'all going to be like, let's get in on the business. All right. So that's how we're all going to know. I'm just saying. All right, so saying, you are, it says, you are the CBD queen, the CUEEN, the CBD queen. Tell us how you got the name the CBD queen.
Yeah. So when I entered into this space, everybody kept saying, "Oh, so basically, what's your handle? What's your like alias? What's your avatar?" And I was like, "What?" And
Like, what
everybody
is
was
that?
like, "You need to brand yourself in this industry." And so I spent some time as my knowledge base increased and as I grew more and I learned more and I shared more, I was like, I've got some of my background as an education as well. I'm like, I want to educate people. I want to be the queen of educating people on
Love it.
CBD. So, I fostered my inner queen, and that's how I came up with the CBD queen. And I wanted to be original, with the C and the CBD and the C and the queen, kind of like
Okay. Little play on words. Okay.
absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And I have to tease you because I was like, she spelled queen wrong. It's too bad. I first saw it. I put it wrong on the flyer, and she messaged me. I put out the flyer, and she texted me like, "You spelled queen wrong." I was like, "No, I didn't." She was like, "Yes, you did." I was like, "No, I didn't." But I get it. I get it. It's a play on CBD.
Yes, it is.
I love it. So you have
Play
a
on
background.
CBD, play on cannabis.
Got it. You have a very strong background in business, and this is a very controversial thing. Okay, we see NFL players Josh Gordon, Cleveland, Ohio, getting suspended for he can't stay away from marijuana. We see other athletes getting in trouble. We also see some things behind the scenes where I've seen a lot of athletes after retirement who admit that that's the way they got through by smoking marijuana is how they got through their injuries and pain. Where there's a huge controversy out here, and one of the interesting things is I think you're suggesting that marijuana and cannabis, first of all, aren't even the same thing. But what, like, tell us something about, like, this is a controversial topic, and mostly what we hear about is weed, which we just assume is all the stuff, and that it's causing a lot of problems, and it's a gateway drug, and it's a problem. Help us understand this landscape.
Yeah, so actually, cannabis is the overarching botanical, the overarching species. And underneath that species, you have hemp and you have marijuana. They're basically cousins, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to get into that in a second about the difference between hemp and marijuana, even though they're
Hmm.
both underneath the underarching category or species of cannabis. But
Okay.
I want to back up a little bit because you brought up some interesting points
Hmm.
about the stigmas associated with cannabis and marijuana and hemp.
Hmm.
And I just want to give a little bit of background that might paint a picture of why the narrative is the way it is, right?
Okay.
So, if you don't mind, if I could take a couple of minutes to talk about the cannabis prohibition. People are very familiar with the alcohol prohibition of the 20s,
Absolutely.
but people are not very familiar with the cannabis prohibition of the 1930s. So if I could just take a few minutes of your time and the audience's time to share
Please
some
do.
information, I would be so grateful.
We'd love that. Absolutely.
Okay, great. So I want to start with the year 1545. Okay, in 1545 is when the Spanish brought over cannabis to the Americas. Okay, and when it came over, it was routinely used for medicinal purposes. Now I'm going to fast forward a few centuries to
Hmm.
1910 to the Mexican Revolution. Okay, that's important for us because as a result of the Mexican Revolution, there were a lot of Mexican immigrants that were fleeing the revolution that came up to the United States. And when they came up to the United States, a lot of Mexican immigrants had been using cannabis with THC in it, for recreational use. Okay.
Okay.
So Americans were not used to people using cannabis in this way,
Hmm.
and so they became afraid of it and fearful of it because it was something new. Oftentimes, when things are new and it's a new concept, people are like afraid of it or what is it? They don't try to understand it.
Right.
You are afraid of things you don't know or that you don't or that you don't understand.
Correct.
So they started to say that marijuana was making people insane, and
Mm.
started really just stigmatizing Mexicans and giving them a bad reputation, saying they were crazy and things like that. Okay,
Right.
so in 1930, there under the U.S. Treasury, there was a new agency created called the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. And at
Hmm.
that time, we had a new American drug czar by the name of Henry J. Anslinger,
Hmm.
Anslinger. You can Google it. This is history
Yep.
here.
Yep.
Um, and he needed more than just opiates and cocaine to build this new agency. So he started a smear campaign
Hmm.
about cannabis and linking it to Mexicans, saying that it made people insane, it made people violent, it was addictive, and things like that.
Hmm.
And the smear campaign took place in the form of print media, mainly newspapers. Okay,
Okay.
so here comes William Randolph Hearst. Okay,
Uh huh.
he owned a huge chain of newspapers, and he was more than happy to participate in the smear campaign for several reasons, right? And this is going to be a little uncomfortable for some folks, but I'm just here
Hey,
to tell you what it is,
let's
okay?
set people free. Let's
Right,
go.
right. We're here to educate and to motivate and to liberate. So I'm going to do my
Yep.
part,
I love
okay?
it.
So he was happy to help in the smear campaign for a number of reasons. The first one being that he hated Mexicans. I mean, plain and
Oh.
simple. He was a documented racist, okay? Second reason is that he was heavily invested in the lumber industry, okay?
Hmm.
He did not want the development and hence the competition of hemp paper, okay?
Hmm.
All right.
Interesting.
Three, he lost 800,000 acres of timberland to Pancho Villa, who was a Mexican general. So he blamed Mexicans for that. Okay. See, that starts to play into the first reason why he
Yep.
didn't like Mexicans, because he lost a lot of, timberland and associated money with that.
Right.
And him villainizing Mexicans and telling lies and salacious stories and whatnot, it actually sold him a lot of newspapers. So
Hmm.
going down this path and participating in this smear campaign made William Randolph Hearst a very, very rich man.
Hmm.
Okay, so it was to his benefit to participate and to really go all in. Okay, with this campaign. So we're
Right.
going to fast forward to 19. You have a question there?
No, no, this is great. And to our audience, I just want to say, not only is our audience hanging in, our audience is growing while we're getting some education here, okay? This is so good because oftentimes we're running around with opinions without education. And we don't know why we think what we think. We only think it because somebody said it to us. And we don't know
Right,
where they got
because the
their information
narrative
from.
in this case, the narrative has been shaped so long ago. Like we were not alive I mean, I'm old, but I'm not that old. We weren't alive in the 1930s. So we don't know that in 1937 there was a Marijuana Tax Act, okay?
Mm.
And that made the possession and the transfer of marijuana and hemp illegal throughout the United States of America. There were some exclusions to that. If you were using hemp for medicinal or industrial uses, but there was an excise tax
Mm.
associated with that use. Therefore, it became very costly for businessmen to use hemp, right, for industrial uses. Became very expensive for doctors to prescribe hemp for medicinal purposes, right, because there was a tax associated with that. All
Hmm.
right, there's a very good TED talk by Dr. Rachel Knox, that's Knox, and she talks about the endocannabinoid system, but she also does a good job of talking about big pharma's role in the cannabis prohibition and why
Hmm.
you don't hear about the endocannabinoid system and I'm going to get into that in a few minutes, so don't worry
Sure.
about understanding that right now. But and the role of big pharma's uh, participation in the anti-marijuana campaign. They were promoting manufactured medicine versus holistic medicine or natural remedies, right? So
Hmm.
there's some monetary reasons why
Yeah.
this happened, right? Why this narrative has been what it is, all
Right.
right? So let's fast forward to the 1970s with the Controlled Substances Act. That was passed, and that is actually what classified cannabis as a Schedule 1 drug. Now,
Mm.
Schedule 1 drugs are drugs that have a high propensity for abuse and addiction, and they say that there's no medicinal benefits to using these drugs, right? So
Hmm.
they lumped cannabis with the likes of LSD and heroin.
Mm.
Okay, so that's
Wow.
where this is all coming from, right? Then you
Right.
go fast forward to the 1980s and Ronald Reagan's war on drugs. It continued this narrative, okay,
Hmm.
that it's a gateway drug, that it makes people
Yep.
crazy, that it does this and it does that, and we go down this path until 1996 when the voters in California passed the Compassionate Use Act, okay, and
Right.
that meant that they wanted citizens to be able to use medical cannabis in the cases of compassionate care. So end of life situations where they're bringing in palliative care. I mean, those kinds of things. The
Right.
California voters are like, people need to be, they need some piece. They need to be able to alleviate some of this pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
To make them comfortable. They wanted it for compassionate care. Then in 1998, the California voters approved Proposition 215, which legalized medical cannabis. Okay, so that was
Mm-hmm.
1998. We move a couple years forward to 2001. Nevada became the first state in over 2 decades to decriminalize cannabis. Actually, Alaska was the first in 1975. And
Interesting.
then after that, in short order, other major cities in the US followed with this: Seattle, Oakland, Denver, San Francisco, the state of
Mm.
Massachusetts, the state of Vermont, the District of Columbia.
Yep.
Okay. 2012, Colorado and Washington became the first states to legalize recreational use of cannabis, right?
Mm-hmm.
2013, where something called the Cole Memorandum was put out by the Justice Department. And it gave 8 major points that were the guidelines, because at this point, some states are starting to legalize it, and so they're trying to give some kind of guidelines from a federal perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just to give you a highlight of a couple of them, the first one was that no cannabis could be sold to minors. Okay, there
Okay.
could be no diversion of cannabis between states, so no transporting between states, and there could be commercial use of
Mm-hmm.
cannabis, but only in states where it had been legally approved, that it had been, legalized. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then 2014 to 2018, more states began to legalize cannabis. And then in 2018 was the passage of the U.S. Farm Bill, which removed hemp as a Schedule One drug and
Mm.
made it a regular crop for farmers to grow. Hemp is
Wow.
legal in 47 states. There are 3 states that don't want anything to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
which are Idaho, Nebraska, and South Dakota. So that is where we are right now. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of history so that we understand why there is such a stigma associated with this, with cannabis, right?
Wow.
And that before I get into talking to you about the differences, I just wanted you to know some of the history and to shape our mindset, if we could be open as we have this dialogue, realizing that there were monetary reasons for this industry not being able to grow. And there are some race related issues, and it might make some people uncomfortable, but
Hey.
we need to identify that and we need to talk about that. We don't talk about enough issues that are fundamental to the racism, the systemic racism in our country, and we need to
Mm-hmm.
talk about that. And this will be another show, but we need to talk about how in the 80s and 90s, how black and brown people were disproportionately incarcerated for being in the same industry that the government now stands to profit significantly from, and we need prison reform. But that's another show you can do.
Hey, that's a whole listen. That's a whole other show,
That's another
and
show.
we're gonna do that show. We're looking at it. We're definitely gonna do that show. Hold on just a second. I'm getting something hot off the press. Okay, somebody. Okay. People are. I got on LinkedIn. We have somebody, Elder Mark Allen. He's in ministry, and is saying that he is in the cannabis field. He has a license to grow. This is really important. Okay, Sam, and I can't tell you this enough. I've been in ministry since I was 19 years old. I was an extreme. I follow rules as closely as anybody could. Not
Sure.
perfect. Okay, I've never been a perfect person, but I was like I've never smoked weed. I've never done any drugs. I didn't really drink. When I was a kid, my parents would let us taste their drinks. So when I was a kid, we could drink a little bit. So when I got older, I didn't feel the need. I wasn't like enticed by alcohol because it was very
Sure.
normal to me. It was like we drank with my parents. Like I don't need to come out here and be sneaking around and getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to drink at that time, like my mom would let me drink her drink. She would let me have some. So I wasn't into it, but I also was very cautious and very careful. I never wanted to be inebriated. I didn't want to be out of it. I grew up in some difficult circumstances in my life, and I never wanted to be out of control. And that's one of
Sure.
the reasons for me. I never wanted to feel like life is out of control enough, especially when you're a kid. to do something to intentionally cause myself to be out of it in any way and not be under control was not my cup of tea. But now apparently it is. But anyway, it wasn't my cup of tea before. But now, I mean, but what I realized, but still, with that being said, my opinion about it over the years and having educated myself at some level, and you've done a fabulous job, and I can't wait to learn more from you here today. I started thinking like, this is not what they're saying it is. I know
Yeah.
people who smoke weed, and I'm not saying this is not a commercial. Everybody go out and smoke weed, and you're going to break down the difference between cannabis and marijuana, and I look forward to hearing your opinion on all of it. But I started thinking there are some racial things going on here. It's really interesting. Our government is, I mean, we live in the most drug dealing country in the world. Everything that's wrong with you, they tell you to take a drug. And then there's some natural things, like when you talked about when they started allowing marijuana to be used medically and they started showing some of the benefits of it. I'm like, well, you grow that. This junk y'all making in a lab is killing. People are more addicted to that stuff than this stuff. So that's kind of my framework for this conversation, and I want our audience to know where I stand on it and where I come from. And with our audience, I want you guys to know that while Santa and I have talked some, I don't know it all. I'm learning with you. This is about education, motivation, liberation. Once the Bible says you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. Does that mean you're going to leave here and go start finding your local drug dealer in the corner? That's not what we're talking about. She's going to break it down, and she's going to help you understand where you can get some healthy products that can be available to you in a healthy way. And then there may be some who are interested in getting in on this industry. I heard some people say it in the comments already. There's some people on LinkedIn who are already talking about it. And San and I are going to connect with you guys and work with you guys. If you're interested, there are opportunities for anyone who's serious about it to get into this huge industry and make a difference and make a dollar.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you brought up again the medicinal benefits of because that's really why we're here to talk about to remove the stigma and not want to focus so much on the recreational use,
Mm-hmm.
but want to focus on the medicinal benefits of it. Let me
Yes.
tell you how I actually got into this space. I've given
Mm-hmm.
you a snippet of my professional and academic background.
Mm-hmm.
But about 4 years ago, one of my sisters was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And for those of you who don't know, fibromyalgia is a very painful disease that it's painful to the joints and muscles, painful to the touch. So when she got her diagnosis, as a part of her treatment plan, the doctors wanted to prescribe for her heavy opioids, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
my sister was like, whoa, wait a minute. She was adamantly
Wow.
opposed to that for several reasons. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
one being my sister drives transit here in Akron, Ohio. Okay.
Mm.
My sister is subject to random drug tests. So she
Yep.
couldn't afford to fail a drug test. My sister has a set of twins that were small at that time. They're 10 now. She has a mortgage and a husband and a house and a
Mm-hmm.
life that she needs
Okay.
to take care of and, to contribute to and provide for her family. So that's one reason she said no. And the second reason she said no was because a bus is a huge vehicle. And that bus is packed day
Yes.
in and day out, 8 hours a day with human beings, with people, right? She's driving people, a full bus of people, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. She
Yes.
cannot afford to be under the influence, whether it's to treat her pain or not. It becomes an occupational hazard in addition to the fact that she could lose her job. Okay. What if
Yep.
something happens? She crashes, gets into a car accident, and somebody on that. But I mean, anything could happen. That
Yes.
was not a risk. My sister was very responsible, been in her profession for 24 years. That is
Mm-hmm.
not something she was willing to do to alleviate her pain. So she started doing a bunch of research. Okay. And my sister loves Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and she
Mm-hmm.
came across some exposés that he had done on CNN with the little girl, Charlotte Figgy. She actually just passed away. She's the one where her parents moved out to Colorado, and the company Charlotte's Web is named after her. She was having a significant number of seizures, and she started taking CBD, and that is what helped her seizures to calm down. So in
Mm.
my sister's case, CBD can be used. This is my introduction into medical cannabis and specifically into CBD. Okay, so
Interesting.
that is how I was introduced. My family and I
Mm.
were introduced to this industry, medical cannabis and CBD specifically. So
Mm-hmm.
my sisters did a lot more research, and discuss, said, hey, this medical cannabis is going to be the next health and wealth trend, and we need to get involved, right?
Mm.
And this is about 4 years ago or so. And at that time, it came up to, we discovered, my sisters discovered that it would cost over $1 million. You needed over $1 million in assets to open a medical marijuana dispensary here in
Wow.
Akron, Ohio. That's a lot of money. And that is not including the non refundable $50,000 application fee. Who has
Wow.
50 grand to burn? We did not. And so
Wow.
that barrier to entry became too high for us. Okay. So that we had to let that family business idea kind of die,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of held on to it in the back of my mind. And last summer, I came across this opportunity and I was like, this is my entry point into the cannabis, the medical cannabis state space, and specifically into CBD. So now you
Wow.
have it.
That is powerful. To have a relative, and I know some people who I'm very close to who suffer from fibromyalgia. It's a family, and several members of the family suffer. And when they talk about their level of suffering, when they talk about the pain that they're in constantly, the migraines, the headaches, I don't like having a headache one day, and they're like, I have a headache every day. They talk about pain to touch, even loved ones, even their
Yes.
spouses. They say, I can't even, and people have different levels, but the family I'm talking about, some of them, even for their family to hug them is painful.
Yes.
Pain all over their body, searched all over the world, trying to find answers, living in a country where the stigma is so terrible. You don't use medical marijuana. I mean, although it's an option, there's still a stigma that
Yes.
you have some kind of drug issue. However, their doctors would prescribe them all levels of other types of narcotics, which is fascinating. And you
Right.
talked about that a little bit when you were going through some of that. Can you rewind just a little bit and tell us a little bit about this narcotics bureau that was created and how that played into the stigma that we
Yeah.
have today?
So Henry Ainslinger, the drug czar of the 1930s, he really needed more than just heroin and cocaine to really solidify his position and to really make his mark. And so cannabis got lumped under there for political reasons. They, started again the smear campaign with
Mm-hmm.
the it makes people insane, it's addictive, and blah 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 blah. And
Yep.
that story has manifested itself and been carried decade after decade after decade. And now we were starting to break down the barriers. And again, when you have big pharma, and I mean pharmaceutical companies, and let me just qualify that I'm not against pharmaceuticals. I'm not saying
Right.
that.
Me
What
either.
I'm
Me either.
saying
Thank you.
is there is a place for people who would like a more natural or holistic option. There are plant-based, medicines out there for people like in my sister's case who can't, for whatever reason, take a pharmaceutical. And now that the opioid crisis is so big in Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now there's really a
Absolutely.
need for medical marijuana and for CBD and things like that. I mean, that is where we are right now, right? Because now the manufactured medicine or the pharmaceuticals have now become super, super addictive. People understand that now, you
Right.
know? And, that's another conversation. I don't want to get into it
Sure.
talking about that, but yes, so it's significant. So there are other options for people, right?
Yep.
So that's where we are. Okay. Can you put up the slide that talks about the picture? Is that possible?
Absolutely. Let's take a
Hold on,
look at
guys.
this.
He's going to put up a graphic here.
Here we are. You see that there?
That's
Here's
my
a.
logo. Go to the
That's
second
the
one. Yep. That's
logo.
great. Number
All
two.
right. Yep.
All right. So if you guys could look right here on the screen, and you're going to see that it says, cannabis is the plant species, right? And underneath that, you see marijuana, because when people hear cannabis, they automatically assume marijuana, right? You'll see marijuana, and then you'll see hemp. And to the naked eye, this plant is the exact same thing to the naked eye. But if you zero in and if you look closely, you will see that there are structural differences between marijuana and hemp. Marijuana structurally has fatter leaves. It grows really bushy. It grows only to be about 5 feet tall. Hemp has thinner leaves, very sturdy stalks, okay? Grows to about 20 feet tall, and it has a lot of industrial uses where marijuana just has more recreational uses. Now, while they look alike and they're in the same plant species, the same family, they're cousins, really. They're cousins. Okay, and one of the things I like to say, the differentiators are the level of CBD and THC in each. Hemp is very high in CBD, okay, very low in THC. Marijuana is very low in CBD, but very high in THC.
And
And
and I'm
THC,
San, I'm hoping you're going to tell us what in the world CBD is and what in the
I'm going to
world
get there. No
THC is.
worries.
Okay, I
No
just want
worries.
everybody to stay with us because we
Yes.
want to know what CBD is versus THC. Is one of them bad? Is one of them good? Are both of them bad? Are both of them good? Sam will explain that to us here in a moment. Continue.
Absolutely, absolutely. THC is the compound that is federally regulated. That's the compound that gives you that euphoric feeling or the high. Okay. Can you go to the next slide for me?
Yes, ma'am.
The perfect question. You just asked it. It was right on
Look at
time.
that.
What is CBD? CBD stands for cannabidiol. Okay. It's one of 400 compounds found in hemp. It does not give you that euphoric feeling or that high that THC does. Okay. But it still gives you medicinal properties that the cannabis family has. There's been extensive research, lots of studies, thousands of studies that show the benefits for, like in my sister's case, of fibromyalgia, seizures associated, with epilepsy, anxiety and depression, helping to shrink cancer tumors, MS, Parkinson's. There are a lot of medicinal benefits to taking CBD. Okay, so that's what CBD is. It's cannabidiol. It's one compound found in the hemp plant with a lot of medicinal benefits.
Okay.
Right, and now I'm gonna go to the next slide for me.
All right.
You have any questions there before I tell you how it works?
I think we're good. Hey, let's go to the audience. Let me go back to that slide to our audience. Courtney asked us to zoom in a little bit. I tried to zoom in just a little bit more. Hope you guys can see that there. If you guys want more information, please feel free to reach out to me. You can inbox me or reach out to me at lucaslivemedia.com. I'll put my email in here, and we will connect you with San, and we will make sure you guys get other information, whatever else you need. So Lucas at lucaslivemedia.com is my email address. Feel free to reach out to me after the show or whenever, and I will get you hooked up with San. She can do webinars. She can explain. You see, she's a great educator, and I love that. So she'd be happy. I know she would. We talked about it before the show. She'd be happy to talk to anyone who's interested. Again, some may be interested in the business aspect of this. Some may just want to be educated and more informed. And she's all about both. So I'm excited about that. So if there's any questions, please type your questions in the comments along the way, whether you have questions now or in the future at any point during this presentation. Please feel free to give us your questions. Again, I want to shout out everybody also on LinkedIn. Again, Mark Allen, Terrence Moore has been here over and over. Terrence Moore, MBA, has his MBA, educated young man looking for some new opportunities. I'm excited to talk to him soon. So I want to thank everybody who's on there. I know there's some others who are watching, but they're not commenting, so I can't see them there. I don't know there's more here on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and YouTube and Periscope here as well. I also want to apologize to our YouTube audience tonight. Our YouTube audience, you guys can't comment through YouTube tonight. And the reason for that is because I changed one of the settings last night when I was going through optimizing the videos and doing all the stuff I do on the back end. And I said that all of our videos were child friendly because, I mean, they are. However, I think YouTube flagged our discussion today as potentially being harmful to children because I was going to be talking about marijuana and cannabis and all these secret things that you're not supposed to talk about. But we know better. So so I think that's why that was flagged, and I do apologize for that. If you're watching us on YouTube and you're commenting or trying to comment and we can't see it, I do apologize. You can join us on another platform or stay right there and send your questions to lucas@lucaslivemedia.com and we'll be sure to get to you. So I don't see any extra questions here in the comments, Sam. So we will move on to the next slide and you can explain these. Is this what's going on in the body when this stuff hits us? What's going on here?
You got that right, brother. You got that right.
Okay.
So if you look in the bottom left of the slide, you will see that it says the human endocannabinoid system, okay, or the ECS.
Yeah, we say that all the time. I was just telling my wife about the endocannabinoid system. I was like, babe, you know what I'm saying? Can you make me some eggs? Because my endocannabinoids is messed up. Okay.
Right. Love
yes.
it. Love it.
Yes.
Okay, so the endocannabinoid system is a newly discovered system. It was discovered by an Israeli doctor in the 1990s, okay? And what was discovered was that the endocannabinoid system is the system that regulates all 11 other systems in our body. Now, we're familiar with the cardiovascular system, the respiratory system, the central nervous system, the digestive system, and yada, yada, yada. But this is new, the endocannabinoid system. Now, this is how it works, okay? There are receptors in our body already. We're born with them. They're called CB1s and CB2s. Now, when CBD is introduced into the body, it attaches to one of these receptors, okay? And whatever is ailing you or out of whack, for lack of a better word, it calms it down. It brings it back into balance. It creates what they call in the medical term a level of homeostasis, okay? Equilibrium, right? So this is new information, okay? 1990s, that's not that long ago, right? And we've known about the other systems forever, okay? Again, if you want some more information about the endocannabinoid system, Dr. Rachel Knox does a really good TED Talk where she's talking to a crowd in Portland, and she does a great job talking about the endocannabinoid system and some of the things I've talked to you about here. So, so that is how this system works, right? And this is how CBD works for so many different ailments and for so many different people, right?
Yes.
Okay. Questions?
All right. Questions. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm over here typing in the comments. Ebony Akron, our good friend, she said she's definitely going to watch this episode again. There's so much good information that she's thinking, I need to watch this and take notes. And I made a comment also to everyone, please plan to watch the replay. I'd love it if you watch it on YouTube and get our YouTube views and minutes up. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel at Lucas Tyndale, please, please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited about building that following and that platform, and it's just gone so well. My YouTube channel has grown by 100 people in like a week. You guys have been amazing, but if you haven't subscribed yet and hit that bell and hit all, do that because that's going to notify you. Your phone will tell you every time I post something new or go live. And I'm not only going to go live, I'm going to be posting good extra content to my YouTube page. I'll be posting some maybe some information about things like this, hot topics, maybe an interview that I would do with San at another time, not live. I would post it there to YouTube. So make sure you're following us on YouTube. And our game night this Saturday night at 7 p.m. is going to be live exclusively on my YouTube channel. So you want to be following me, you want to subscribe. Our game night is hilarious. We laugh, we play crazy trivia games, we have argument games, we do all kinds of cool stuff, and it's so much fun. We're all quarantined, we're all locked in. Why not come to a virtual game night with all your new family and friends in the Lucaslive community? It's going to be so much fun. So don't miss out on that. Thank you so much, Ebony. Thank you, Courtney, for subscribing. Jackie Scott said, I use the CBD cream. She uses a cream. That's awesome. We're going to talk about that. I don't know if I have any of the creams here, but you guys stay tuned because we're still going to do a live demo here shortly where I'm going to actually, partake in some of these things. And if my lovely wife is watching, maybe she could bring me a cup of hot water and I might be able to get this tea going before the show is over. We'll see. Now, our show usually runs about an hour, ladies and gentlemen, and we're almost at our time. But what we'd like to offer is, again, you can always watch the replay if you have to jump off, but we'd love for you to stay with us as we continue this discussion. We promise not to be too much longer, but I think it's valuable information. And I know there's some of you who are interested in this as a business opportunity for yourselves. So we want to make sure we give out that information. And you just want to be more educated about what's going on here. You don't want to leave with half information because that makes a dangerous person. So we're going to continue on with San. It doesn't look like we have any other questions, so we can keep moving along.
Right. So now you see the thank you so much, Lucas. And I have to
Absolutely.
say that his game night is extremely fun. I
Whew.
participated. It's very, very fun.
Yes. Great
Great
times.
trivia questions, great time, great atmosphere. It's really fun.
Thank you.
Okay, so if we can go to the next slide, and I want to talk to you just for a second about the CBD industry. Now, this article was written in Rolling Stone, okay, and it was written in September of 2018. You probably can't see the date, but 2018. And at that time, it was projected that the CBD market would be a $22 billion industry
Ooh.
by the year 2022. That is four
Wow.
years. Okay. To give you some perspective, the NBA and our native son here, LeBron James, in the middle, you can see that the NBA is a $17 billion industry, right?
Wow.
It took the NBA 74 years to become a $17 billion industry. And in four
Mm.
short years, the CBD industry is projected to far exceed that and be a $22 billion industry at the time of this article. And that projection has been updated to be north of $23 billion now. Okay. So there
Ooh.
is a huge opportunity for those who want to get involved from a business standpoint, right? There's an
Right.
opportunity for us to position ourselves, right now. The time is now. Okay.
Yep. Love it. Love it. That's so important for everybody to know. We're often looking for opportunities, especially entrepreneurial opportunities. I think while a lot of people have recently had some opportunities to work from home and had a level of freedom where they were able to just get their job done without maybe somebody breathing down their neck, I think a lot of people's entrepreneurial spirit was sparked and they realized, are there opportunities out there for me to get involved? And I want you guys to know the opportunities to be an entrepreneur don't always start with you having some unique idea. Unfortunately, we've been fed the narrative also that everybody's going to come up with an Apple computer or a Facebook or a Twitter or some amazing app, and that's how you're going to become an entrepreneur. One of the guests that we're going to have on a future show is a franchise owner, and he's going to come on and share about owning a franchise. This is another type of opportunity that you guys can get in on at a relatively low cost to be a participant in this program and launch a business of your own. So Santa's going to share more about that, but it's so important for us to realize $22 billion is bigger than the entire NBA, and you see the kind of paychecks those guys are receiving. So imagine if you were in on an industry that is bringing in more revenue, how you could potentially profit in the future. Now, I'm sure we're not going to talk about a get rich quick scheme. I would not bring somebody on here just to tell you you're going to be rich tomorrow, but I certainly want to have people on who are going to inform us about our opportunities. So, Sam, I'd love for you to continue to share a little bit more with us.
Yeah, there is. If you go to the next slide,
Okay.
uh, there
My
there
wife
is,
is
like he's saying, a
sliding some
huge an
hot water. Thank you.
opportunity. And like I said, I am CBD queen, but and that's my brand. What I'm branded as in the industry. But I don't manufacture any of my own products. You're going to need like spoon out the. I'm sorry, Lucas. You're going to need to spoon out the CBD tea leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Just put a couple teaspoons in there, and then you can spoon them out before you drink it.
Okay.
Just steep
Say,
it for like 2 or 3 minutes while we're talking,
okay.
and then you can scoop out the tea leaves. It's loose leaf tea, so usually I put
I
mine in one of
see.
those balls or a tea bag, a reusable tea bag.
Oh, okay. I
No
just
worries.
spilled mine into my water, so we'll see what happens here. It
Yeah,
might
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah. You can just scoop them out and drink it.
okay
All right.
if
So
I find
anyway,
a scoop
so
real
as
quick. Okay, it's
CBD
all good.
Queen, I do not manufacture any of my own products. What I do is distribute for a very high quality brand, okay, called oxygen, Oxzygen, okay? Because you can't live without oxygen, right?
That's right.
Okay. So yeah, this is how I'm building my empire, and want to share that
Wait. Say that one more time. That's how you're building your what?
my empire,
Or empire. All right, watch out. She said I'm building a empire, not an empire, but a empire. All right, go
my
ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
empire, absolutely.
Yes.
So, and of course, I mean, I've got my reputation on the line. I've got 25 years in business, and 2 degrees, behind me to show my level of contribution to the business world and my competency. So I would not risk my reputation to talk about something that's a get rich quick scheme. No, this is a CBD franchise opportunity, right?
Right. Right.
That is more affordable than the $1 million to get into the medical marijuana
Right.
dispensary business, and without all of the legal issues associated with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, this was my entry point into the cannabis space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say the reason one of the reasons that I decided to represent this brand in particular is because of one of our financial backers and our brand ambassador. Go to the next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am. As soon as I find my cursor, I got it. Okay, there we go. Hey, I
Right.
know that guy.
Yeah, you know that guy.
Hey.
Jawan Howard is one of our business partners. He is a financial investor in the Oxygen brand, and he is our brand ambassador. Now, people know Jawan Howard. He is an NBA champion. He was a part of the Michigan Fab Five in the 90s. He was the assistant head coach of the Miami Heat, and he is currently the head coach of
The
the men's
University of
basketball team in
Yeah,
his
the
alma
University of
mater.
Michigan. That's right.
Exactly. And
Yep.
I saved the best bullet point for last on his resume to me as a business person. He was the first NBA player to receive a $100 million contract. Now, for me as a business person, that's critically important. It lets me know a couple of things. One, he's a very savvy businessman, okay?
Absolutely.
And that he thinks in the future. He's cutting edge. He's not one that says it has to be a me too. He doesn't just follow the crowd, right? He's willing to do something that others have not done. And that is me. That is how I think. So I felt comfortable making an investment, in this capacity because of who the one of the financial backers is and the brand ambassador. All right. So go to the next
Yep.
slide for me. With the Oxygen brand, we have a full suite of products that range from high athletic performance to pain relief. You can't be in the business without having, pain relief, topical pain relief. And we're getting ready for you right now, Lucas. We're going to try some
Buckle
stuff.
up. All right.
Yeah, and you can't be in the business without having a CBD oil or a tincture, as we call them. We also have the gourmet coffees and teas that are infused with CBD. We have products for sleep support. We even have pet products. I mean, just like we age, our pets age as well, and we have things to help with our, inflammation and anxiety for pets. We have a full suite of products.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go to the next slide. Our flagship line of products is THC free, okay? Meaning that each batch on each product we have, it has a batch number associated with it. And you can put that batch number into our website and you can pull up something that's called a certificate of analysis or a COA. And what that does is it verifies from a third party lab that the ingredients or the contents of that product are what they say we say they are, and that it's THC free for our flagship line. Okay. That's
Awesome.
critically important for people who are subject to random drug tests, or don't want THC in their body. That's critically important that the products that you ingest are not there. Now there are different kinds of CBD. There are three different types. There's a CBD isolate, which is what our flagship line of products is from, meaning that the CBD is isolated from the hemp plant. Okay. And then you have broad spectrum, which means that we use a broader part of the plant. Okay. So there might be some traces of THC, small traces, still well below the legal limit. right, in our holistic line. Okay.
Hmm.
The legal limit is point 0.3, um, 0.3%, but ours are 0.03%. Okay.
Awesome.
Well below the, I mean, 5%, 0.05%, well below the legal limit. And then you have full spectrum CBD. Okay. Which means it uses the entire plant. Some people are like, oh, well, I use a CBD product and I failed a drug test. Well, if you use full spectrum, there's a
Mm.
really good chance that you probably will. And that's why people
Wow.
need to be educated on the differences, and know what they're ingesting, right? You need to be clear
Right.
on that. You need to make sure you can get a certificate of analysis that has been verified by a third party lab, okay? All of our hemp is grown here in the United States of America, grown here, manufactured here. Our hemp farms are in Kentucky and Colorado, FDA manufacturing facilities approved, compliant with the 2018 Farm Bill. All right. And I already talked about the testing. So,
Love it.
yeah, so that's where we
Yep.
are. So now it is time for our demonstrations. Okay. I want to talk to you about some of the products. And
Yes.
Lucas is going to be so gracious as to try some products so you can see how they work live. Let's go to
Yes.
our PDQ pain spray, if you wouldn't mind using that. This
Is
is the
that what it
large
looks for?
size. You have the, yep, you have the small size.
Oh, okay. I was like, mine ain't that big. Okay.
No, 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 no. You have the right one. It's a small size. See? So take
Okay,
the orange
gotcha.
top. Just take the orange top off. No, the paper first.
Yeah, yeah. Let me give me a second. I'm not. I mean, see, this is what I was worried about. I was gonna be on live TV struggling, like I was at church trying to open them little communion cups. That's usually where I get tripped up. That's the worst moment in church history when you're trying to open them communion cups. So just tear this all off, or
Yeah,
just
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 here.
off the
There you
top.
go.
Okay.
No, that's good.
Boom.
Now take it, okay, and you're gonna spray it. Are you gonna use your elbow or your shoulder? I
Yeah,
know you
yeah,
said you
yeah.
had some
Yeah,
pain.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Little pain in the elbow. Even sitting here on my chair with my armrest is
Yeah.
painful. My man Dan Harsh, I don't know if he's watching, but we were doing these overhead lift things, and we had like a 2,000 pounds or some ridiculous amount that really humans aren't supposed to lift. And so both of my elbows kind of got hurt from that. So it hurts
Mm,
when I do push-ups. It hurts when I push off, and it hurts to lean on here. So I hope my elbows ain't ashy. My mama raised me better than that.
you're good.
Okay. All right. So what am I doing with
You're
this?
gonna spray that on your elbow
Okay, I hope I don't
in
miss.
the
It's spray.
in the localized area where it hurts. It's gonna go
Okay.
on
Wait.
cool.
Okay. There it is. A couple squirts or what?
Yeah, a couple squirts.
Okay.
Now just
Feel
leave
a
it.
bit.
We're gonna leave it for a few minutes, and then you're gonna tell me how you feel in a few minutes. We're gonna keep talking. In the
Okay.
meantime, why don't you go ahead and open up those gummies?
Get those gummies popping. All right.
Yeah, our gummies are delicious.
All
Now
right.
these are THC free. Okay,
THC free. Okay. I'm
it's
not going to fail no drug
THC
tests or nothing.
free, and it's
All right. So
for
here we
people who
go.
are. There you go. Put them closer. There you go. Very, very.
Very berry. All right.
So for
Bust
individuals who
these
are
open.
used to taking supplements in the form of gummies, this is a good way for you to get your CBD into your body. Because
Mm.
again, since CBD has not been a part of our routine, a part of our daily lives,
Mm-hmm.
our body is basically CBD deficient. It's like having a vitamin D deficiency. So you
Wow.
have to build up to the level that's good for your body. Usually it takes 7 to 10 days before you start to see some improvement, because again, it
Interesting.
has to build up in your system. But in my case, it took 8 days. Go ahead, just chew one.
Go ahead and take one. I don't take all of them. Just
No, one for right now.
okay.
I just want you, yeah, how does it taste?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You want me to lie or you want me to tell the truth?
Tell the truth.
It tastes really good. It's really good. Like candy
Like
good. Like
candy. Yeah, they're
like
good.
better than the multivitamins that I normally take. Seriously, much better. Chewier, gooier, like very flavorful. I'm not saying this like an infomercial. I don't know any different. I mean, I don't have any reason to lie. Lucas live audience, I would not lie to you guys. Tastes really good.
Yeah, I actually love our lemon raspberry ones. I
Hmm.
can't keep them in the house because I eat all of my inventory. I can't. They
That's
are
rough.
so good.
Right.
So
How you
good.
gonna sell CBDs and you eat CBDs? You can't do that
I know.
now. I thought we learned
I'm
that.
supposed to be selling them to the,
Okay.
and I'm eating them. It's crazy,
It's
right?
rough. I thought we learned that from Smokey on Friday. But whatever. If you gonna be eating up all your product, it's like
I
it
know,
says
right? Right, exactly.
THC free, and then there's a nice little barcode scan here where it looks like you can just scan that and order more product. It says so that's pretty cool. I like that.
But so
THC
yeah.
free. Yes.
So can you show them the number that's on it? There should be a batch number on it in black. On it might be on the front, on the side, it's somewhere.
Let's see. I don't want to mess up your demonstration. Not being prepared. What does that number look like? I see a lot
It's
of
just
numbers.
black numbers, small
Yeah,
black numbers.
small black numbers. There's a lot. Tyler's over here laughing. Quantity. They must be on the back here. I don't know if you see it there. You pointed
I
out.
can't see that. I mean,
If you see, oh, look,
there
it
it
got
is.
clear.
Oh no, wait, that's not it.
Oh, that ain't it. Uh oh. Uh oh.
Turn the front around. Let me see.
If it ain't on here, ladies and gentlemen. All right,
No, they
let's
might
see.
have made it that little. You see that square bar? Go back to
Oh,
the back. They might
yeah.
have made it that scan thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Like the boom.
No, 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 no,
Right.
no. It's one
No.
up. There,
All
there
right,
it
but
is,
it's
right
here
there.
somewhere. We blind in our audience. They get
Oh, sorry about
everybody
that.
on here
Anyway,
laughing.
yeah,
Everybody's on
right,
here
right,
having
right.
a good.
Live
People on
demonstration.
here
So
rolling.
now, so tell me about how your elbow feels.
It feels very cool, like almost like it's an ice or something. Like
Right.
really
It goes
just
on cool.
nice and cool and
It,
cool and soothed and cool and soothed.
yeah. Now, I want to give you an opportunity
Uh-huh.
to try another pain cream on top of that
Okay,
in the little sachet that I sent you.
this one.
Absolutely. So take one
Okay,
out.
okay,
Now, this is from our holistic line.
all right. Little
And
pain
you only
cream.
need a little bit. That's the thing.
Just a little dab. Okay,
Just a
I'm
little
just
bit.
opening it a little bit. Okay, get a little dab. I've never done these demonstrations before, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time on Lucas Tyndale
I know
Live.
you did a great job. It's great.
Oh, thank you. I might get a whole infomercial deal out of this. I might become that guy. Y'all be like, he's that dude. All right, got a
Yeah,
little
now put that
bit.
on your
Put a
elbow
little
where
bit
it
on the
hurts.
elbow where it hurts. Okay, rub that in. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm not ashy. Can't be ashy because my mama taught me better. All right. Okay. All right.
Okay, and we're going to keep talking and we're going to come back to that.
Okay.
You can have another gummy if you want.
You know what's funny? I was sitting here like, when do I get another one of those?
Yeah,
It's like a little
they're
kid.
good. They each have 10 milligrams of CBD, so it's like you're micro dosing, right?
So how many of these is safe to eat?
You can't overdose on CBD,
Okay. Good.
you, which
Good
is
to
good.
know.
Which is good,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I use our tincture, our CBD oil, which is this is our 1,500 milligram. So each one of these bottles, a 1 milliliter,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the 1 ounce is 30. It's 30 servings in here. So you take a full dropper and you put it under your tongue. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
one I use. So if you do the math, 1,500 divided by 30 is 50 milligrams per serving. That's what I take. So,
Okay.
which is why I can end up eating all 5 of these,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Because they're each 10 and they're 5 in the little pack.
Yep.
So that would be my daily serving of CBD.
Right. Delicious. 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 Those seriously taste really good. Like keep. I don't. So what happens? Okay, let's talk about this. These taste so good that a child might get a hold of them and eat one. What are the regulations around children, and what
Okay,
safety precautions
so
should we
as a
take?
parent, you need to regulate that for you and your children and your family.
Okay.
There are no legal, you know what I'm saying? You
Okay.
need to. I would not give CBD to ingest one without the permission of a parent for a small child. Now, for an older, like 17, 18-year old, I would, but not
Hmm.
for a little kid.
Okay. Because it could be harmful.
No, just because that's my personal. I don't
Okay.
want to let somebody. Just like when you go to Sam's Club and they don't let you try a sample
Okay.
without a
Good.
parent,
Yep.
I would not give a little kid something without their parents' permission. That's just me.
Very good.
That
Very
nothing's
good.
going to happen to them per se. I mean, if and well, actually, I have a case where one of my customers gave it to a friend of his who has a child that
Mm-hmm.
has really bad ADHD, and the
Mm-hmm.
gummies worked for the little kid. He's about maybe 9 or 10. It
Mm-hmm.
worked for him. He's a really, really bad kid, and it worked
Right.
for him for about a half an hour.
Okay.
And then because they gave him a half of one,
Mm-hmm.
and then they gave him after it wore off, they gave him the other half, and then the
Okay.
next time they gave him a whole one because his ADHD is so bad. But again,
Interesting.
that's the parent's choice. I'm not
Sure.
a parent. I would never make that choice for somebody else's little one.
Sure, sure. Let me go ahead and shout out some of our guests here, our audience members. I see Lavitra Hampton. Thank you for being here. She's tagging people. She's telling people to come on into this broadcast so they can see what's going on over here. I appreciate that. Jackie Scott said, "Do you have any products I can cook with? Is there anything for someone to cook with?"
No, we don't have any products you can cook with. We only have the coffees and teas for you to drink. I've served our teas and coffees at functions, but I'm sorry, at this time we don't. Now we are having a new product launch in a couple of days, so I don't know what's going to come out then. I'm so excited, I can't
That's
wait.
awesome.
So I can get back to you. Jacqueline, we'll make sure that. Lucas has your information, and if something comes out,
Yep.
that might be up your alley, he'll let you know.
Yep, I can get a hold of her, so we'll let her know. My man Steve Beatty said, uh, you guys need to link up. And John Marshall and John Shop, you guys need to link up. You have to tell us who that is, Steve. Let us know. Maybe
Hey,
that's
Steve.
somebody. He's a chef. He's a
I know I
oh,
saw
you
when he was
saw
on the
him.
show. Of course I saw. He's
He's an
awesome.
amazing guy. He is San, and I
Yeah,
want
he's
to thank you
awesome.
so much, San. And ladies and gentlemen, San's not just here on the show to jump in and try to sell us something or sell you a product or sell you in on the business. She's actually a part of the Lucaslive media family as well. Like she said, she was here for game night. She saw Steve's show. She participates. She's a part of it. You've probably seen her commenting in the comments and may not have known it. I called her out a few times and shared that she would be on the show. So, San, I want to thank you too because it's easy to try to find a spot. I've talked to a lot of people. A lot of people have reached out to me about being on the show, and I've reached out to others about being on the show. But to know that you're also a loyal follower means a lot. So, thank you, Sam.
Oh, you're so welcome.
We appreciate it.
I'm glad to support and to be help to educate in any capacity that I can. So I love being a part of the community. It's wonderful. And hi, Kareem,
Thank you.
your wife.
Hey, yes, she brought me
So
some. She
okay, so
brought me. I got
Lucas,
the tea too. All right.
how does your elbow feel?
I can't. It feels like I don't want to say numb. It feels like I can't feel the pain. I still feel that cool feeling, but I don't feel the pain. It's like I don't know. The closest thing I could describe is numb because I haven't felt anything else that took pain away so quickly. But I don't feel the pain.
That's why we
Like
call it PDQ. It stands for pretty darn quick.
okay, all right, pretty darn quick. PDQ. Okay, PDQ, pretty darn quick.
Yeah.
That is
That's actually the
interesting.
product that Jawan Howard introduced to the NBA. A couple years ago, I'm a huge NBA fan. A couple years ago, I was watching them. Hi, Jamie. I was watching an NBA game,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw some Miami Heat players coming off of the court, going to sit on the bench, and they
Mm-hmm.
had this white bottle, and
Okay.
they were spraying it on their elbows and on their knees. I didn't know at the time that it was PDQ,
Wow. The
right? And
championship
now,
Miami Heat players were spraying this on
yeah,
their
and
knees
so
and
now
elbows.
everyday individuals like you and me have access to high quality products that professional athletes are using. That's amazing to me.
That is amazing. So, Sam, we don't want to keep our audience too much longer here. There are
Okay.
some people who are interested. One, how can they get the products? Two, if they're interested potentially in coming into this wonderful $22 billion, $24 billion industry, how do they get a hold of you? What do they do to find out more information?
Yeah, so just find me on Facebook,
Hmm.
CBD Queen, Queen. I have a business Facebook page. Send me a message. You can call me on my mobile. If you put up that last screen for them, everybody can see my mobile.
Okay.
You can text me.
Okay.
Yep, CBD
We'll put
Queen.
that up there. Yep. We'll get that.
And yeah, on Facebook or Instagram, leave me a message, DM me, and I'll hit you back.
She'll hit you back. She'll get you what you
Last
need
one,
to
the last one.
get you
Yeah,
what you
there's
need
my
to
phone number,
know.
774-437-9. No, it's backwards. I'm sorry. It's 9234. I made a mistake.
Oh, 9234. That's okay. Look at this. Real time. 9234. We fix
Whoa,
stuff
there we
here.
go.
Hey, we don't play
Perfect.
around here at Lucas Tyndale Live. You know, we're agile. We make moves, okay? It's no problem. All right. So 774-437-9234 is how you can get a hold of San, or on Facebook at CBD Queen with a C. That's CBD Queen with a C, or on Instagram. Please follow her. Please connect to all the love we're getting here on LinkedIn. I don't know if we've had such a captive audience on LinkedIn in any of our previous broadcasts. People are talking. People are excited. People are engaged. People are calling out the phone number in the comments. To everybody here on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, thank you guys for being here. To the Periscope family, thank you guys so much. To our YouTube viewers who could not make comments that were able to come into the live stream, I do apologize, but I thank you. And if you're watching this by replay, please watch this entire replay. If you're just coming in at the end and you did not see the beginning presentation, ladies and gentlemen, please go back and rewatch this video. And if you can, go watch it on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe, hit that bell icon, hit all, so that you get all the notifications. Tomorrow, I'm going to have the wonderful Miss Dr. Shamika Dean on, a profit strategist. If you're thinking about, you might be thinking about going into this business, but you need somebody to help you figure out how to scale and grow your business. She's rooted in the kingdom of God. She's focused on helping kingdom entrepreneurs, and she's going to be on tomorrow giving us tons and tons of knowledge. She's another person who had a good corporate job. Something went left, and it birthed her purpose in her, and she's going to share that story. And then Thursday we have Miss Danica Stevenson, who's going to be doing a live cooking demonstration. She's going to be making some healthy sweet potato, something that's going to be delicious and amazing, and I'm excited about it. And then again this Saturday on YouTube only, we're going to have our third family game night with lots of fun, lots of questions, lots of laughs, lots of craziness, and we're going to have a great time on YouTube exclusively this Saturday at 7 p.m. So, San, can you give some parting words to the Lucas Live followers here today?
Yeah, thank you all for joining this evening. Want to say that we are here to educate you. To This is his platform, Luke's platform, educate, motivate, liberate.
Yes.
If there's any way that I can help you understand something more about the industry, please reach out to Lucas or myself. We're here to educate. We're here to help,
Yes.
and we're here to pave a new way and allow people the freedom that they need to be able to live in their authenticity. If you're afraid to try a new direction, perhaps this will give you the motivation and the encouragement to do something new, to go against the grain. And I say be encouraged. I know these are interesting times, they're
Mm-hmm.
unprecedented, but look at Lucas. He
Thank you.
is going from tragedy to triumph with the loss of his mother, and something beautiful has come out of that. And I just say to you, be encouraged. And however I can help you with CBD understanding the industry, or at any rate, get in touch with Lucas or myself. I'm more than happy to help. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, San. It was such a pleasure having you. To our entire audience, you guys are the best. The love, the support, the messages. I promise that I'm going to give back to you, our audience. So you guys stick with us. I'm going to work on every opportunity I can, from every sponsor, from everyone out there who would be willing to offer something to our great audience. And I promise I'm going to bring it to you. Make sure you're a part of our inner circle by texting Lucas Live to 31996. It will go there first. To our LinkedIn audience, again, I know you can't be in on the comments here, but thank you for continuing to participate. To our YouTube audience, thank you guys so much. Periscope family, we appreciate you. To all my friends on Facebook and to all those who followed the Lucas Live media page, we just want to thank you tonight. Great conversation, so educational, so much great information. Go back and watch the replay and let us know if you're interested and want to know more. We want to thank you. Thank you, Jack. Yes, see some people saying great show. I always cut the show off and then I see more comments. So we do appreciate it. I do see those. Thank you guys so much. San, you have a wonderful night and we'll have to have you back sometime. I'm sure there's going to be more questions, more people want to know.
Absolutely.
All right,
Just let me know.
wonderful.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Awesome. Everybody have a great night.